Some of the best horror movies achieve greatness by keeping their cards close to the vest and revealing horrifying and shocking truths late in their runtime, wrapping up all the terror with a neat little bow. Others, however, take a less direct route with their narratives, leaving the audience to come up with the correct conclusion, or even leaving it so open-ended multiple conclusions can be reached. This style isn't for everyone, but if it's for you, you may enjoy these 5 horror movies which let you figure out what's going on all by yourself.
I'm scared too.
No one's going to save you, Charlene.
You are alone, Charlene. Your choice.
This is not your house. This is not your life.
A young woman with an emotionally distant and flippant partner prepares for her girlfriend's homecoming alone in their apartment. As the night goes on and her partner is continuously delayed without notice, the woman's environment begins to change. The only door in or out won't open, regardless of time of day. Outside her barred windows is an inky, silent blackness, and all communication with the outside world begins to turn ominous and sinister. Featuring horror icon Barbara Crampton, neo scream queen Dora Madison Burge, and starring writer-director Emily Bennett, Alone With You will deliver not only on some great chills, but also a ponderous journey open to interpretation.
Ted, I saw someone outside.
Honey, that's the man who comes every night and tries to kill us.
We're just gonna leave him?
Oh, I'm sure he's already gone.
You said a man comes into our house
Every night and tries to kill us. Hey, pull it together.
What?
Starring torn hearts and 12-hour shift director Brea Grant, Lucky is probably the most straightforward horror film on this list. Grant plays May, a relatively successful but ultimately unfulfilled self-help author who one night wakes up to a masked man breaking into her and her husband's home with the silent intention to kill her. While she's able to fight him off and call the police, her husband very calmly states that this man breaks into their home every night and tries to kill them. What ensues is an increasingly bizarre and symbolic nightly battle in which May struggles to live one more day while the world around her becomes exponentially more hostile by way of neglect. The overarching subtext of this film is ultimately fairly clear, but it is certainly a narrative which will have various meanings and impacts on individual viewers.
I know the saddest thing about everybody being gone. The lost stories. People are gonna die anyways, but their stories don't have to.
Soon after losing her best friend, Aubrey awakens to a world devoid of life aside from cosmic monstrosities large and small. She soon makes the acquaintance of a voice on a radio which tells her these dimensional interlopers were summoned via a mysterious signal which opened the door into her world. The signal is broken up across 7 cassette tapes, and it's up to Aubrey to find and combine them with the hopes of reversing the portal and banishing the monsters. This ethereal cosmic horror tilts more towards the wondrous than the horrific as Aubrey's journey plays out. Its art house aesthetic won't be for everyone, but for those open to interpreting its themes and ambiguous ending will find a movie they will likely revisit several times and enjoy discussing with friends.
She could be right.
What?
You're worried about catching something?
This is how it ends.
Something really bad is gonna happen.
I'm ready. She did this. Did this. I'm not ready.
Have you ever had a pit in your stomach which all but promises tragedy and desolation in your mind? It's certainly a familiar feeling to those who suffer from depression, anxiety, and a number of other mental health concerns. But She Dies Tomorrow takes that feeling and amplifies it as a seemingly contagious, apocalyptically premonitive disease. On an average night, Amy leaves the room to answer the door for a pizza delivery. When she returns, she is absolutely and unshakably certain she will die the following day. What follows is her emotional spiral through the stages of grief brought on by this knowledge, and how, unbeknownst to her, everyone she confides this truth in also falls under the same catastrophizing spell.
In this house.
The The strange and experimental Skinamarink takes a while to get started, but once it's on its path to petrifying, it does a great job keeping an audience's breath short and concerned. While one theory in particular is most commonly accepted, when two very young children awake to find their father missing and all the external doors and windows of their home to have vanished, the ensuing apparent predatory haunting can represent a number of things to an eclectic audience. But She Dies Tomorrow takes that feeling and amplifies it as a seemingly contagious, apocalyptically